Hi again, students and families. Welcome back. I hope you guys are hanging in there. We're almost through our first week of at-home learning, and it's been a long week in some ways and a fast week in others, but I hope you guys are doing really well. I know I say it every day, but I really miss seeing your faces in the halls, in the library. It's just not the same being away. But we're going to try to connect as much as we can. Yesterday we started reading our first chapter book of this little series of read-alouds we're doing. It was called Our Principal is a Wolf. If you missed the first part, you can just go onto my YouTube page. All you have to do in the search bar is type in Mr. Lohn, L-O-H-N, and you can get the first few chapters. Today we're going to read the second part, and then tomorrow we'll go back to a picture book tomorrow is the plan, and one I think that everybody knows pretty well. So here we go for chapter 4 of Our Principal is a Wolf. Who's for dessert? Thought the wolf. If the assistant principal and the principal were so tasty, I can only imagine how delicious their students will be. He quickly spit out Mr. Bundy's clothes and put them on. They had tasted terrible anyway. Then he grabbed Mr. Bundy's red poncho and threw it over his head. For a final touch, he went to Ms. Moore's bathroom and used a few dabs of her hair gel to slick his fur down neatly. "How handsome I look," he said, winking at himself in the mirror. The wolf raced out of Ms. Moore's house and jumped onto Mr. Bundy's bicycle. He pedaled off as fast as he could, with the red poncho flying behind him in the breeze. He followed the road signs leading to PS 88, arriving just in time to greet the students. "Here comes my dessert," thought the wolf, seeing the first children arrive. "Good morning, Mr. Bundy," said Hector. "That's a great beard you grew over spring break." "It sure is," said Roger. "Looking good, Mr. B." "Thank you, boys," replied the wolf. "You'll have to excuse my raspy voice today. I'm a little under the weather." Once the bell rang, the wolf followed the students and teachers inside the school. He decided to visit the classrooms one by one. "I'll start with the little students first. They'll be excellent taste bud teasers," he thought with a chuckle. The wolf knocked on Miss Tilly's kindergarten door. He walked in with a big, drooly smile. "Hi, Mr. Bundy," said Alice. "I like your new beard. Would you please read us a story?" Little Alice was so charming that the wolf had second thoughts about making her his first bite of dessert. "Of course I'll read a story," he replied. He wanted to prove to himself that he was not completely hard-hearted. "I'll let her enjoy the story, and then I'll gobble her up," he thought. "Will you read this one?" asked Alice. She handed him a copy of Little Red Riding Hood. "A fine choice," snickered the wolf, and he began to read. Once upon a time, there was a little girl whose grandmother gave her a beautiful red cape. The girl loved it so much, she wore it all the time, so everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. Just then, there was another knock at the kindergarten door. It was Roger, with a note from his teacher for Ms. Tilly. Roger didn't want to interrupt when he saw the class listening to a story, so he sat down to listen too. When it came to the part where the grandmother was about to be eaten, Roger saw Mr. Bundy's eyes growing bigger. He saw his mouth watering. He saw Mr. Bundy looking at the kindergarten students as though they were huge scoops of ice cream with hot fudge and whipped cream on top. Roger started to worry because Mr. Bundy didn't seem quite like himself. In fact, he seemed a little wolfish. First, there was his raspy voice. Of course, Mr. Bundy had said he was under the weather. There was also that new beard. But Mr. B probably grew it to mark his anniversary at PS 88. Give himself a new look. "I'm being silly," thought Roger. Then he froze. He thought he saw something furry poking out from the back of Mr. Bundy's suit. "I sure have a good imagination," Roger thought. "Just because I'm listening to a story with a wolf in it, I think I'm seeing..." Suddenly, the furry thing flicked back and forth. It wasn't Roger's imagination. It was a tail. Chapter 5, Wolfie's Promise. I'll be right back," croaked Roger, leaping up from the carpet and racing out of the room. There wasn't a moment to waste. Roger had to do something, and fast. He knew Ms. Moore was out sick, so he couldn't go to her for help. He had no time to gather up his friends, and he didn't think any of the teachers would believe him if he tried to explain that Mr. Bundy wasn't Mr. Bundy, but a wolf. Roger ran down the hall to Mr. Bundy's office. The last time he was there, he had seen a magician's business card on the desk. It was a long shot. A long, long, long shot. But Roger had to try. He found the card and made a call. Thank goodness, the magician answered. Roger explained the problem as quickly as he could. In the blink of an eye, a man wearing a tall black hat and a magician's cape tripped into Mr. Bundy's office in a cloud of green smoke. Whoops! Marty Q. Marvel here, fresh from a 6-month advanced magician's course in sunny Aloha, Kona, Hawaii. Allow me to amaze, confound, and astound you, he said. Follow me, said Roger. We've got to hurry. They raced to Ms. Tilley's room. Roger was afraid to go in, fearing he was too late. But he was amazed when he opened the door. The wolf was weaving in and out of the circle of kindergartners singing, Bluebird, bluebird, through my window. Bluebird, bluebird, through my window. Come join us, he said, cheerfully. I've never had so much fun in my life. Of course, the kindergartners thought they were dancing and singing with their beloved principal, Mr. Bundy. Thanks to Roger, Marty Q. Marvel knew the real story, and he wasn't about to fall for any big, bad wolf tricks. Marty quickly waved his magic wand, chanting, and a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3. Mean old wolf, you're history. Nothing happened. He waved his wand again. Still nothing. I knew I shouldn't have skipped my wolf disappearing class, moaned Marty. The wolf looked at him with fear and hurt in his eyes. In his short time in the kindergarten class, he had grown to love the young students at PS 88, but his secret was out. Ms. Tilley gathered her frightened students close by her side. What will I do? The wolf thought. Now that they know I'm a wolf and not Mr. Bundy, I'll have to eat everyone in the room. I don't have a choice. Alice didn't like the hungry gleam she saw in the wolf's eyes. She remembered how happy and friendly he was when he was dancing and singing, and that gave her an idea. She ran to the wolf, grabbed his paw, and started to sing the Hokey Pokey song. You put your right paw in, you take your right paw out, you put your right paw in, then you shake it all about. The wolf started swaying to the tune and joined Alice doing the Hokey Pokey. Meanwhile, Roger was thinking, if this isn't Mr. Bundy, where is he? And is Ms. Moore really out sick? Or is she? Oh no, Roger thought and started singing as fast as he could. You spin to your left, you spin to your right, spin round and round with all your might. The wolf spun round and round and round, faster and faster. He was having so much fun, he threw back his head, opened his mouth and yelled, "Whee!" Out flew Ms. Moore. Out flew Mr. Bundy. Everyone gasped as the tired, dizzy wolf fell to the floor, panting. Then he started to cry. I'm sorry, he sobbed. Yes, it's true that I'm a wolf who ate people to survive, but that was before I met all of you. Please, give me a chance to start over. Please let me be a student at PS 88. I love this school, and I promise to be good. The wolf cried so hard that the school nurse, Ms. Cole, was called in to take care of him. We forgive you, said Ms. Moore, who surprisingly was feeling quite a little bit better. Roger and Alice, thank you for rescuing us, said Mr. Bundy. Marty Q. Marvel, thank you for trying. Mr. Bundy turned and spoke to the wolf. We will give you a chance to join us here at PS 88, but you must follow every rule. I will, said the wolf. And no more gobbling up anyone, added Mr. Bundy. I won't, replied the wolf. And you must give me back my red poncho, said Mr. Bundy. Oh, do I have to? Asked the wolf. I really like it a lot, and I look so handsome in it. Yes, you have to, said the principal, rolling his eyes. A few weeks later, Mr. Bundy visited Ms. Tilley's kindergarten to ask how the wolf was doing. Wolfie's quite an exceptional student, replied Ms. Tilley. Every morning, he recites his own Pledge of Allegiance. Really? I'd like to hear it. Wolfie was proud to be asked. He stood up, put his hand over his heart, and began. I pledge allegiance to PS 88, where the principals, teachers, and kids are all great. I promise to follow each and every rule. I'll be the best student at this excellent school. I'll work hard learning to read and to write. I won't eat any more people. No, I won't take a bite. Bravo, cheered Mr. Bundy. He clapped as Wolfie took a bow. Walking back to his office, Mr. Bundy smiled, thinking about all his years at PS 88. Happy anniversary to me, he thought. I really am the luckiest principal in the whole town. And so that's it for our first chapter book. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you guys check in tomorrow. Have a great day. Find some fun things to do and do great work. Miss you again, guys. Take care, McGinn.